Hey guys, all right. I'm Michael. This is Resolve Life Training. So, as you probably noticed, this has been just a hell of a day. It's been cold, it's been windy, it's the type of rain where the raindrops look like pineapples. They're huge. It's just, I'm drenched to the bone. It's been cold, it's been windy. And I'm about, that's what's next for me. 200 calories, right there. It's just the kind of day where when you're on the bike or you're out running or you're out working, you begin to question yourself. This day has been no exception, and I'm no exception. So I'm riding along, and I got out of the questioning myself, the why am I doing it? I know why I'm, at this point I'm 6 months in. I know why I'm doing this. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly what my goal is. I know exactly why I'm doing it. So I got away from that train of thought. Hold on. I got away from that train of thought pretty quick. So it gave me time to think about other things. And I want to tell you what I arrived at. It's going to come off initially as a rant. And it started out as a rant in my head, but it's not a rant. I've come up with some good advice out of this because it's just been a hell of a day. I want to talk to two people today. Two types of people. Number one, I want to talk to the group of people who are currently mounting a campaign to improve yourself, to become better than what you were yesterday, last week, last month, last year. You are actively campaigning to improve yourself. And I want to talk to the group of people who are thinking about it. If you're thinking, and don't fool yourself. This is not a process. People are going to tell you, oh, well, if you want to improve yourself, it's a process. It's not a process. It is literally a campaign. You are about to go into battle. If you find yourself in one of those two camps, you're currently involved in it, or you're considering doing it, I want to talk to you because I'm in the middle of doing it as we speak. Okay? If you're comfortable with where you're at, mazel tov. Good for you. That's great. Stay there. This talk isn't for you. So, I want to start it out with a quote. And this is one of my favorite quotes, and I don't think I've ever passed this along to anybody. And the quote goes something like this. And I don't remember where I read it or where I heard it or where I saw it. I don't know. But the quote says this: there are 2 seats in a Ferrari, there's 50 seats on a bus. And let me tell you what I believe that means. If you are about to mount a campaign to become better, or you are currently involved in a campaign to become better, it is going to be lonely. You're going to be lonely. You need to get that through your head before you start. If you've already started, you need to wrap your head around that quickly, I should say, if you haven't already. Okay? I'm out on a bike anywhere from 3 to 4 hours a day now, 6 days a week. It's lonely, physically and metaphorically. It's lonely. If you're going to work on a passion or a goal, you want to become a writer, you're going to have to spend endless hours writing or drawing or acting or developing that web app or doing homework or running or biking or lifting those weights. Whatever it is, when you start, you're going to spend a lot of hours doing it alone. It is both physically lonely and it is metaphorically lonely. You're going to be separating yourself from the crowd. Okay, you're going to spend a lot of time in your own head. Sometimes that's not a good neighborhood to be in, but it's necessary. Let me make another point. When you mount this campaign for self-improvement, once you proclaim it, once you tell the world, I have decided to become whatever, fill in the blank, you are by proxy announcing that you have decided to become better than your peers. Because whether you realize it or not, whether you know it or not, you did it subconsciously, people tend to surround themselves with other people that they are very similar to. Right? So once you say, hey, I've decided to go to college and get a better job. At the very same time, you're saying, I've decided to leave you guys behind. You can keep doing this job. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to take the class. I'm going to do the work, and I'm going to get something better. You haven't made an announcement that you want to get better than you, but you've made an announcement you want to get better than the people that you surround yourself with. They're not going to like it. You are immediately going to begin to face resistance. Resistance from your friends, resistance from your family, resistance from the universe. All right? It's going to test you. The universe is literally going to see how bad you want it. Your friends are not going to like it. Your family, the people who proclaim to love you, they're not going to want to see you step away from the crowd. All right? When you step away from the crowd, it makes the people you left behind face a couple of issues. Number one, it makes them face their own insecurities. It makes them face their own weaknesses. And it makes them face their own lack of discipline. And facing any one of those three is not comfortable. Stepping away from the group and heading off on your own path for self-improvement, it makes them face all three. So be ready yourself, okay? Once you mount this campaign, you're going to face resistance. And you need to remember one other thing, all right? All of these people, the people that are making it harder for you, the people that are causing you more resistance, if you stick with it long enough and you succeed, these people are going to be doing one of two things. Number one, they're going to be bragging that they knew you. Or number two, they're going to be asking you for a job. Okay, so don't worry about these people. And I know that that's easier said than done, particularly for me. I worry about it. I worry about the scrutiny. I worry about the critique. I worry about it. And I shouldn't. I try not to. I try to get myself to this point. I give myself that self-talk. I want to get away from that. Do not worry about them. Okay? That's important. All right? And let me tell you what got me here. It's kind of a small event. You're going to face, and I want to clarify that, not only are you going to face resistance from the people you do know, it's going to seem like you're facing resistance from people that you don't even know. That's how I got to this rant. That's how I got to where I am today. I've been out on this bike ride. I'm 25 miles into what's ultimately going to be a 31 mile ride. And it has been torrential. The weather has been biblical. Okay? I mean, it has been torrential. So at one point, I chose a route that was going to give me a bike lane. At the very minimum, a bike lane for the entire 30 miles of the route. If not a bike lane, a bike path, something. The rain was so hard. There was so much of it. The water became so deep, and it was coming in sideways, and it was windy. I couldn't even distinguish the bike lane anymore. So I made the choice to pick the bike up and put it on the sidewalk. Give myself, whatever that is, 4, 5, 6 inches of elevation above the standing water. No sooner than I did that, I can't even count. There's no measure for how many cars started moving over through the bike, into the bike lane, through the bike lane, into the gutter, just so they could splash me with water. I mean, if it wasn't happening to me, it would have seemed almost comical. Like I said, I can't even count, 20 or more. And we're talking about in a 10-mile span. And I got to thinking, why would these people do this? They don't even know me. And that's when I kind of got onto this train of thought. They may not know me. That's true. But they're sitting in comfort, looking at somebody who's obviously working at something. All right, I wouldn't be out there with bags on my bike and a rain jacket and obviously I'm doing something. I'm working, they're in comfort. And just that little thing, just that little notion that I'm in comfort and somebody else is working hard was enough to make them literally go out of their way to cause me harm, whether it be physical harm. I mean, I suppose it could have caused an accident. It knocked me through a loop a couple of times, but just to cause me discomfort, resistance, harm, whatever it was, the fact that they were in comfort and they saw somebody working harder than them was enough to motivate them to do something to me, to cause me some kind of resistance, as if I wasn't facing enough resistance on my own. They just had to make it a little bit harder. That's people that don't even know me. What do you think the people you're leaving behind are going to do? What are they going to say? How are they going to feel? So I wanted to throw that out there. Okay, because I faced a lot of it today. You're going to face resistance. All right, once you decide to distinguish yourself from the crowd, you're going to begin to face resistance from the crowd, and you're going to face resistance on the path. You're going to face resistance from the universe. There is just no measure for how many tests you're going to endure once you decide to separate yourself from your peers and embark on the campaign. And I can't stress that enough. It is literally a campaign to take the next level. You're going to be alone for a vast majority of the time, and you're going to face a lot of resistance. Remember what I said at the beginning. There's 2 seats in a Ferrari. There's 50 seats on a bus. Every level you climb above the crowd, you're going to get fewer and fewer seats. There's going to be less room. All right? It's lonely at the top. And eventually, you're going to be at the top. There's only going to be room for you. Okay? Don't let that get to you. Each level you go up, each crowd you get into is going to, you find a group of like-minded people, is going to be smaller than the people from the crowd you just left. When you leave them and decide to go into some elite status, that crowd is going to get smaller again. And once you beat the elite crowd and you're on top, you're all by yourself. It is lonely at the top. So I want you to remember that. All right, guys, so that's really everything that I had. I know it may have come across as a rant, and on some level, maybe on multiple levels, it was a rant, but there is some good advice in there. It's my self-talk. When I find myself struggling against the rain, against the wind, against the weather, against the resistance, against the people, against everything that seems to be coming against me. Oh, you want to go on a 3,000-mile bike ride? Let's throw a broken bicycle frame into it. See how, you understand what I mean? That just happened to me. The test, the resistance. When I face that, this is the way I try to talk to myself. And initially, I don't always talk to myself. Trust me, there are many, many times, Trina can attest to this, more often than not, at this point, I'm so worn down and exhausted that my self-talk is not always this good. Believe me, I go down the woe is me path more often than not. But initially, as I'm navigating through that woe is me, I'm a victim path, and eventually I come out of it and I come out on this side. It may take a minute or an hour or a day, but I will eventually get here. It's like exercising. I keep working on it. I'm exercising. I'm trying to get here quicker. I'm trying to stay here longer. It's like an exercise program where I'm trying to increase my strength. I'm trying to increase my speed. I'm trying to increase my endurance. I'm trying to create a stronger mind. I want to get through the woe is me mentality quicker, and I want to stay in a positive state longer. Increase my speed and increase my endurance. Get to this place quicker, stay here longer. So it's not easy. This is something I physically have to work on. I work on it more than a lot of people because I put myself into stressful conditions more than a lot of people do. But that is definitely a process, trying to get your mind to where mine is at now, because I can promise you there was a time 20 miles ago when I was getting splashed every 20 feet and the bike was falling over because there was too much water to move forward, and I was soaking wet and my hands were cold and my feet were cold. I was not here. I was at woe is me. I had to navigate through woe is me and find my way here. But I'm here now, and I'm trying to pass that on to you. I hope it helps, okay? You can get through. This time I did it pretty quick. It took a few minutes, 20, 30 minutes, and I got through woe is me. I got through the victim mentality. I navigated those waters, both physically, or both literally and metaphorically, and I came out on the other side feeling good. I'm going to eat some Fig Newtons, 200 calories, 5 more miles, I'm back home, and I'll make myself a real meal. I'm Michael. This is Resolve Life Training. I hope that this helped. I hope you found something here